So as you can see right here, we got the murderer, the mastermind, one of the many few of the men who plotted to kill the greatest rapper in Memphis history, Young Dolph, aka Big Flipper. Long live Dolph. Look at this nigga face, y'all. So anyway, let me just relax. Mr. Govan was back in court. So as you can see, he was in court the other day. Alleged mastermind of Young Dolph murder seeks curfew to get job record show. Whatever the fuck, however. See how they wrote that? Alleged mastermind of Young Dolph murder seeks curfew to get job record show. Okay, I guess court record show. Memphis, Tennessee. The man prosecutors claim organized the murder of Memphis rapper Young Dolph. Asked his new judge for a curfew. Huh? Yo, this the most court dates I ever seen. And how this nigga on trial? I mean, on bail for being a mastermind of murder. And y'all try to tell me Memphis ain't no corrupt shit going on out there, motherfucker. It's some weird. Memphis like Chicago. Let me read this again. Alleged mastermind of Young Dolph murder seeks curfew to get job record show. He was expected to be in court Friday, February 16, 2024. Previous motions filed by Govan and Judge Coffey's court were unsuccessful. I don't see any reason at all why this court should relax those conditions and say, Mr. Govan, we're going to let you go back to being a fully fledged person with no restrictions at all. Go to work when you want to go, shopping when you want to, leave the county when you want to go to other places when you want to, Judge Coffey said. Whatever the fuck. During the court appearance, Judge Coffey also claimed, who gave you permission, but unless you hear from Judge Coffey, it can be done unless it's approved by this court. Mr. Govan, this is Big Jug's friend, the guy who helped with the Dolph murder. Let's take a look into this, guys.
Yeah. Mr. Hernandez, I'm going to set this case on September 21st. It's 5 weeks from today.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Taylor submitted to the court a progress letter regarding your conditions of your bond and efforts that she's making to supervise you. I gave a copy of that.
This must be old.
To Mr. Durham, to his mind. She had given this about 2 weeks ago because she had some concerns. She's indicated that you're asking for some relaxed conditions on your bond, that you want some of the restrictions removed or want some of them lessened.
This nigga.
And every time we come to court, Mr. Govan will get this request that says Mr. Govan is asking for other things. At first it started with, you wanted to go clothes shopping. I think my response was, you can have Amazon.com.
Nigga, go to Amazon and shop. Nigga, you wasn't thinking about that killing Dolph. You did not think about that murdering Dolph. The legend, the king. King of Memphis.
If you go grocery shopping, I told you to call Kroger and they'll deliver your food to your house. And I also got an answer request that indicates that perhaps you want to be given the same consideration of some other folks, and that you think that you want to be permitted to go to work full time. Mr. Govan, you're on bond because all parties agreed to that. Those conditions were set by this court. Those were conditions that all parties agreed to, and I don't see any reason at all why this court should relax those conditions and tell Mr. Govan, we're going to let you go back to being a fully fledged person with no restrictions at all. Go to work when you want to, go shopping when you want to, leave the county when you want to, go to other places when you want to. Mr. Govan, you're on those restrictions for a reason. And part of those reasons is for your own safety.
Because you see what they did to Big Jook. Now, all jokes aside, this is old, but don't worry, because I got an update. The only reason why I'm even playing this monkey-looking motherfucker, Govan.
Probably aware that Memphis, Shelby County, Tennessee is the first most violent metropolitan area in the country. This case has generated a substantial amount of publicity. And if you're running around free in Shelby County, Mr. Govan, knock on wood, somebody might be trying to kill you, sir. So it is not in your best interest to say, Judge Coffey, take away all these conditions and let me just do what I want to, go where I want to. And there have been some instances where you were allowed, apparently, to take a couple of trips. That can't happen anymore because of the conditions of this bond, that this court set this bond, and you can't deviate from those conditions unless
this nigga was taking trips after mastermind.
I'm told
after masterminding the murder of the greatest rapper of Memphis. Y'all hear that? He was taking trips, y'all. We're gonna get
having some difficulties in supervising his bond because you had a couple of trips that were approved that was not approved by the court, were not discussed with the court, were not discussed with Mr. Handel Durham, and that's a violation of your bond, Mr. Govan. So I don't know.
So why is he not arrested?
To take those trips to leave Shelby County, but unless you hear from Judge Coffey, don't say anything else. Unless you hear from Judge Coffey and Handel Durham, your attorney of record here, Mr. Rora's.
The judge just literally said you in violation of your bail conditions, and he's still leaving them on the street. A man who's allegedly, but we already know what's going on. The judge even said it. Your life is in danger. It's almost like this is like some mafia stuff, almost like it's some inside job shit. A lot of this shit. You see how the shit that car that killed Big Jit looked like a police car.
Probably not going to be in on most of these settings, but unless you're in court on the record with Mr. Durham in this court and Ms. Taylor and asking the court for some relief and say, Judge, I need to do certain things, will you please approve it? It cannot be done unless it is approved by this court, Mr. Govan. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
And please, please, please stop asking Ms. Taylor, probation management group, if they can relax these restrictions or if they can do certain things or let you go shopping or let you get a job, because she doesn't have authority to do that. Ms. Taylor would do what the court ordered when I entered the bond.
That nigga look tight. Look at this nigga.
Place those conditions under seal.
You ain't saying that in them pictures when you was with Big Jook and Yo Gotti, nigga. And fucking straight drop.
They're not open to discussion. They're not open to change unless Mr. Durham files a written petition in court and says, Judge Coffey, I'm asking that you modify some of these bond conditions. Now, unless Mr. Durham asks for Mr. Govan, you can talk to Mr. Durham and say, will you please address Judge Coffey about doing certain things? And he'll do so. But I think what Mr. Durham will tell you is that, Mr. Govan, you should be blessed that you are on bond.
And this nigga smiling and shit. Thanks, y'all. Thanks. I know Gotti sent you. Allegedly.
Jail pending disposition of these charges. Your lawyers have worked, yeomans have done a great job in getting you released on bond until these cases are settled. But I do not intend, and I want you to hear me clearly, I do not intend, unless there's a substantial change, I do not intend to change the conditions of this bond and say, look, I thought about this, but I want to relax this. So unless there's some earthquake can change, something that's significant.
Unless Big Jook loses his life.
Something has come up, we're asking you to modify these bond conditions. Mr. Govan, the bond conditions that were entered when both sides agreed to release you on bond, those are immutable. They would not be changing, sir. It could get worse. It could get more restrictive, but they're not going to get any less restrictive, Mr. Govan. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Keep working with your lawyer. Give Mr. Durham, and Mr. Durham will continue to discuss your case with Mr. Manny Aurora. Give them anything that you want them to look at for you. Now, see if I can
keep snitching on Big Jook until we figure out how we're going to get this get back. Until then, Yo asses, you stay on house arrest so we know where you at. So the shooters could get to you easily. So, to the update, guys. You know I got the update. So the only reason why I got this punk motherfucker on here is simply because he was back in court. This asshole did an interview with a Memphis blogger the other day talking about his boss, Yo Gotti, because since Big Jerk not here, we only got Yo Gotti to point at now. So thanks to him, he was talking about CMG, and his ass was in court again. So let's see what the judge had to say. You know what? Yeah, Memphis, nigga, Dolph World. This face is the face of a guilty man, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Govan, I don't have to tell you how serious these charges are. I know I don't even have to go back through that, right? I also shouldn't have to remind you that you're out on a bond that, and the court has put you under some real serious or some real tight stipulations.
Yes, ma'am.
At this point, the court feels like you're playing fast and loose with the court and these stipulations. And I don't like that.
Tell him, Judge, tell him.
You have filed a motion with your attorney asking me to review your bond conditions. And before we could ever do that, I get a message from a concerned citizen that you're out doing interviews.
Uh-oh.
Whether you're talking about this case or not, you're doing interviews. And the court doesn't like the fact that you feel free enough to do interviews.
Let him know, Sister Soldier.
Because what could be happening is that you could be in jail. And it's a whole lot easier to supervise you there. But you've been given the opportunity to post a bond with bond conditions, and you're not doing those things you need to do.
Sock it to him.
We're going to review those bond conditions on March the 1st. But let me make myself extremely clear to you
March 1st.
that you are to not have any interviews with anybody for any reason. Your attorney has
Yes,
assured
ma'am.
me that nothing was said about this case in that interview, and I have no reason not to believe what he told me was true. But like I said, you should not be interviewing with anyone. You should not be making any public statements, and you should be in the house. That means not going to anybody's funeral. Put your hand down. You're speaking through your attorney at this point.
Yes, ma'am.
That means not going to funerals or anywhere else. That means in the house as of right now.
We know what happened to Big Jerk.
And about you not showing up on yesterday or showing up and then leaving because your counsel thought it was appropriate to allow you to go home because you were getting a barrage of phone calls, that's neither here nor there. When you're supposed to be here, you're supposed to be here.
Look at his face.
Were you not on my docket yesterday?
Yes, ma'am.
You were supposed to be here. Bottom line.
And I thought I was. He instructed me not to come. I was.
Like I said,
For murder, he
you
got.
are supposed to be here. Whether your attorney
How many chances do you give a nigga that's on bond for murder?
is here or not, you should be here.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand what house arrest means as of this point?
Yes, ma'am.
He knew it
I'll
when
see
he
you
got
back here
Dolph
on March
killed.
the 1st, sir.
All right, thank you.
Please don't give me any reason to revoke this bond.
All
And
right.
then we won't even have to have these conversations.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Who did it more, him or Gunner? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. He killed Dolph, man. He killed Dolph. Him and Gotti set it up. Him, Gotti, and Jook, allegedly. Jook ain't here anymore. So, Y'all know how that go. But remember this judge right here. Never forget. We just looked at him when I first turned it on. I wanted to show you guys something. I wanted to share this with you guys. He was the black judge that was popping all that shit to go over in earlier. Reporting live from Memphis.
At 4, a judge is removing himself from the case for the suspects accused of killing Memphis rapper Young Dolph. An order issued today states that Shelby County Criminal Court Judge Lee Coffey's courtroom, quote, removes itself from conducting any further proceedings pertaining to the cases against the 4 suspects. The case will be sent to the criminal court clerk to be reassigned.
Sounds like some type of corruption, political corruption is going on, and that judge want no parts.
Mr. Govan, I don't have to tell you how serious these charges are.
You sure don't, bitch.
I know I don't even have to go back.
We all know how serious them charges are. That's why that other judge removed himself. He wasn't playing. Just some weird stuff going on with this shit, man. Some real weird shit, guys. Long live Flipper. So Justin Johnson is back in court. They're being lenient on him too. Watch this. It just seemed like for some strange reason, all these guys get all the breaks that kill Young Dolph. That's mad weird. For murder too. This is strange. Memphis, something's wrong out there. Sounds like a little corruption. Oh shit! Look at her. That's Sister Soldier again.
See behind his defense.
I say they get this judge out.
Behind his defense attorney, followed by a handshake. As he's hoping he'll get a fair shake at freedom with jurors from outside Shelby County.
That's what we felt was necessary in this case to ensure Mr. Johnson's right to a fair trial.
It was 1 week ago when defense attorney Luke Evans stood before Judge Jennifer Johnson Mitchell requesting to keep the trial in Shelby County but to bring in an outside jury. Friday, Judge Mitchell announced the court's ruling.
This court will grant the change of venue. This matter will be heard in Shelby County, but this court will select a jury from another Tennessee county to hear this matter.
A small victory for the defense in what they know is a case that has garnered a lot of attention as Johnson is charged with the murder of rapper Young Dolph in 2021.
And when we're talking about certain jurors that could potentially qualify to be on the jury, we need to know if they've heard about it. And if we find that information out, then we'll, the court, myself, and the state will be asking them questions to investigate what they've heard.
The judge's ruling.
Look, you all, I know my damn Clyde's guilty. I know we can't stand a chance. But I'm just doing this shit for free publicity, and even my life's on the line.
Did not come as a complete surprise for the state.
This isn't even a roadblock or anything like this. It just means for a couple days we'll go somewhere and get a group of citizens and bring them back here and ask them to do the right thing.
Friday's hearing ended much like it started, with Johnson again being escorted. Assistant DA Hagerman says the judge's decision will not be a barrier. As for defense attorney Evans, the judge's ruling he hopes will be exactly what's needed to secure that impartial jury. We'll certainly keep you updated. Reporting inside the CJC, Jarita Patterson, WREG, News Channel 3.
Memphis, 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 Memphis. Motherfucking Memphis. So, long live Dolph. And you can see The day on Govan ass all of a sudden. But the nigga's still out. I guess they want to see something bad happen to him. Rest in peace, Dolph. Memphis forever.